16-bit hockey fans, I've got a doozy for you, and this is a sit-down between me and EA, and we discuss a variety of things, so much so that I had to break up this discussion into 3 parts. You heard me right, 3 parts. So this is part 1, and in this one we discuss stuff like the NHL 94 King of 94 tournament. We talk about AJ and his dominance and the few people that beat him online, and maybe there's going to be trophies awarded to those people. We talk about the evolution of how people play NHL 94, classic video games, and of course the EA special. And remember, this is only part 1 of 3. So the next 2 parts are going to come out in the next week or 2. I do hope you enjoy it. And if you do, don't forget, give me a like and subscribe. With that, on to the show, and you're going to love it. Well. EA, how are you?
What's up, man?
It's a great summer day, my friend. Got to cut the grass. Got to do a bunch of laundry. It's a wonderful day.
It's amazing. I got, booted for Costco. Then there's the grass. Is there any other chores? I mean, the air filters had to be changed in a couple months,
Well, you're lucky. It's not quite oil change time yet, but if I had to, rest assured that would be first, and then you coming second. No, buddy, man, it's good to have you on. This is
I got good news and bad news for you. Yeah, the grass is cut. Bad news is I got to get my oil changed.
No, dude, it's still very early for that. But anyways, this is just going to be just a chill chat. You've seen a bunch of these. We're just going to sit back, relax, say what you want
all the time.
Beauties.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to be old hat for you. And now you're in the captain's chair. It's going to be so. Sit back, enjoy, and relax, and let's have fun. And So
well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on. As I've said, I've been an avid watcher since the beginning. I watched these episodes multiple times throughout the years. I watch the Building Lines with AJ, which I hope there's a V 2.0 that comes out eventually, especially with what you've learned since. Because I watched back those a million times, and your comments are, this is Len in his baby phase of coming on, his infant stage. Now you are a total slayer. You are one who has gone from a guy who used to play in Exes and wouldn't have to think too much about because you were ramping up, to a guy that, oh wow, I had to come back from behind, and really squeak it out. It was eventually that evolution, and then it became. Now I'm seeing him at King, and I could beat him. I beat him, but then now he's going 5-1. Now he's 6-0 in group play, and now he's knocking me out of the winners bracket. Last time. So it is
a few things. Number one, I definitely want to talk to AJ, and that's what. Funny enough, you said that. I was thinking it today that I should ask him to do a refresh of that. It's funny, great minds think alike. Now to go back to my 6-0 run at the King, let me just say a couple of things about that. Number one, it was smoke and mirrors. There was 2 games. I'll have to explain. There was 2 games that were could have easily gone in the other way. One game I lost, I think, to Kaze in overtime. I think it was Kaze. So overtime could go either way. The second one, I won a game by a goal by scoring the last second. There was 0 seconds in the clock, and I scored.
Yeah.
So that that could have easily gone the other way. So either way, it's been a fun progression. I've taken my licks, and I'm going to continue to take my licks, especially in this new league that we're a part of.
Yeah, but I like what you do, man. I talk about this with AJ all the time, and I talk to other people too. The reason he's so good is because we try to keep giving ourselves advantages and him disadvantages, but it makes his play more dimensional, much deeper. He just gains more knowledge, and you're definitely a guy that has. In fact, I started calling. I'm like, when I've been playing Len, I had playing conversations with AJ on the side or calling him on the phone. Like he reminds me of you, back in the day, because I'm like, he's got this innate awareness. Len, you have this innate awareness about yourself, where you just. It's just good ice awareness on both sides, and I don't see it that often. But I've been around the block enough to know when I see it. So I mean,
I appreciate that. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a rush of blood to my ego. I appreciate that too. So, you know what? I've recently I watched the matchup between King Raph and AJ, where King Raph won in Game 7, and I saw that matchup online
in Toronto. At I can't remember the name of that esports place, E-Waves or outside of Toronto.
I watched it, and when I'm watching, and I saw it just maybe 2 weeks ago. When I'm watching it, I'm looking at it through a lens of how could I compare to those guys from 6 years ago, 7 years ago, whatever it was. I think it was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Sorry. And it's like, you know what? I think I'm approaching that level. Maybe I'm still many years behind. That's the thing is I'm so far behind in the gameplay. When I see these guys, I could probably at that time give them a match. But that was those guys 7 years ago. I played King Raph recently. The guy destroyed me. Just absolutely ripped me a new one. It was just it's like
he's a problem for me.
These guys are all good.
That's interesting. That's your take from it. My take is when I watched it, because I did watch that King back. I watched those finals back within the last year, and my only takeaway was I can't believe how far the game has come in this short period of time.
But thank you. That's a discussion I really want to dive deep into. Because you've been around long enough. You were there from the first King. You were there under a different handle, IAmFleury'sHipCheck. Am I correct?
Yeah, it was my original handle when I came onto the forums in 2005. Right within AJ and I figured it out. We were within like a month or two of each other when we signed up. I think it was Smalls first. Then it was KG Man was there before us. And then with AJ and I were right around each other. And I know I'm going to miss some names as I reflect on things tonight. And that's I'm just a heads up. But yeah, we were right at the same time in 2005. We're a much different place. But.
And the game style back then, you were, from what I've been reading, you were one of the more dominant, or if not the dominant players at the early days. Is that correct?
Yeah, no. Well, before I got there, I had been playing for years against my buddy. We used to play 10-minute periods. We used to have full leagues. I've shown some of the guys this. I've written records of all their seasons from 97 to 2004, like handwritten records that we used to keep. And just like booklets, just pages and pages of 10-minute periods with everything. Kept injuries. If you got too many injuries in a season, you had to sit out until the playoffs. So like if you got a game, like if you got a gamer in the first, it was like 5 points. If you got a gamer in the second, it was like 4 points. Gamer in the third is like 3 points, and then a penalty injury was 1 point. So if you accumulated too many, you had to sit your guy. So
what you're saying there, I find every so often I get a comment from a viewer on YouTube or somebody that follows me on X. And I'll give you an example. This guy, Matt Dunlap, he shared with me some pictures that he found of like score sheets. It's going to be hard to see.
Yeah,
like,
I can see. Yeah.
Like there's like all the score sheets and everything. And he found them. He posted them for me, and I retweeted it so like everybody else could see. Every once in a while, you see somebody does this. Like the amount of effort people put in back in the day.
Yeah. We used to draft all the teams. This is a notebook I had in college from like 1996. So this is the first season was written on this. And then we went to more of Excel spreadsheet, but we'd handwrite everything for every player. And then we'd have MVPs and everything. So so I had this. He didn't come, like what happened, he didn't come over tonight. He got married and moved away. And even though we were really close friends growing up in high school, but he didn't make the jump. And I saw the last season was, and sorry, I'm going to get to the point of getting like on the forums here, but
no, take your time and go on a tangent. I'm happy when you go into the weeds. So
yeah,
really go have fun.
I was reflecting back through these records, and I saw in 2004 was the last grid season. We didn't finish it either. With like summer seasons, winter seasons, we'd like have tournaments. We were doing 10-minute periods, so it's like really long games. And we would draft all the teams. So these things would take a little while, but we'd hammer them out all the time, especially over the summer. So anyway, 2004, I was the last written record I could find. And then I just remember when he moved away, it's like we didn't get to play as much. It was like just on special occasions. And then in 2005, I'm like, I just did a search on who like NHL 94. And just like first thing that came up, like with, that Evan put together, NHL94online.com. And I was like, oh my God. I was in between jobs at that time too. So it was a really good time for me to ramp up. Halifax was right there, greeting me, like being right there. Great 199s of like really old school guys aren't around anymore. Habs, that's Canadian 66, I think was his old handle. I was my original 2v2 partner. Guys like Jesus coming on board, who was Clockwise back then. You saw Tickenist was around. Tickenist, like all these guys, it's like, it's amazing how many people, but you still recognize those names, now they're still around. But the reason I think I had a very good showing when I first came on the scene is because I had like all these years of practice playing every team, playing with everyone. And remember, Len, they had just discovered the weight bug. So like even when in my seasons, like I love to play with Kevin Stevens was like during the earlier seasons, like we didn't, Pittsburgh is like, oh yeah, it's so great. It's like we didn't, you got a feeling of things, but you didn't know until you get a guy like Smoz in there, to really peel it back.
Yeah, when you saw Lemieux at 99 overall, you're like, he's the best. He's got to be the best. He's 99, right? And you play with him.
Yeah, exactly. And then so it's like, but it come on board, and then as soon as the weight bug, that is just. When you have the weight bug, it's like, everyone's like, you should have seen those draft teams back then. It's like Kovalenko, Bassin, and like Ronning or something. It's like something ridiculous, like Dallas Drake is like a first rounder. I know you're an old fan of Dallas Drake from back in the day.
Well, you know what? Dallas Drake, I posted this yesterday on all my socials, is if you're new to the game, Dallas Drake is this is for Genesis, of course, is a better alternative.
All Genesis.
So yeah, we'll just talk about that, and we'll dive in Super Nintendo too. But I don't know how much we're going to talk about it either way. But yeah, the Dallas Drake is better for newbie than Fedorov. It just makes sense. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go to the weight bug.
And that's why you were so pumped on him, like back in the day.
Yeah, and now I'm 100% sold on Fedorov because I can understand how to deal with the weight bug. But that's the evolution of it all. Now to go back, you never watched hockey, and you probably still don't, right?
No, my dad was actually he was in the IHL for a while. A couple of games. Like hockey was a big part of like me growing up, but I did one ice skating lesson, and it was not going to be for me. Like it was one of those things where it was scarred in my head because like falling across the ice, in front of like other kids and stuff, just like never bounced back. So my skating career never took off. However, hockey, my dad used to work at Gunzo's, which supplied all the Blackhawks with their equipment. So I actually grew up knowing Keith Magnuson and like all these old Hawks players, like, like Bobby Hull, like they were always around in the periphery. So like they used to like bring me in and put me in for naps in the storage room. So yeah, like all those guys, like that was like, it was a big part of my life growing up.
So you've been to Old Chicago Stadium, obviously, right?
Oh yeah, man. Back when I was talking about this recently, back when like the general admission tickets, like as a kid walking from your seat, if you had a mezzanine, and walking back to the general admission where those guys are standing on those bright, like almost like oven lights, and there's just a smoke. And they're all, it's an 80, late 80s, so like they're probably like done so much below, or like they look like cracked out, like it was scary, it's like a very gritty place, it was not, you could see that haze of like smoke hanging over like the ice, but it was loud and it was authentic, and it was like just this genuine feel, like a real fan base. Like I took my dad to a Hawks game to see Ovechkin play. For maybe the last time, I didn't know, but it's just like, hey, that'd be pretty cool. We went this year. It was like Disneyland out there. I was like,
it's a different atmosphere.
This is crazy, man.
You ever get to meet Nancy Faust? She's the organ player of.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yeah.
Because she's a legend over in Chicago.
Yeah.
Because she
Yeah.
plays
No.
at the old White Sox games with old
Yeah.
Comiskey, and not even probably even new Comiskey. I don't even remember, but whatever. There's a couple of guys out there. They're doing a book on actually the Madhouse on Madison, and it's going to be about the and they're trying to gather all kinds of pictures and information about it. So I'm going to pass that information to you if you're interested in that, because I think you would be.
I would be. Absolutely.
Now, how'd you get into '94 if you're not really a hockey fan?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, I saved up money growing up to buy a Pavel Bure jersey back when, like, in Chicago, back in the early '90s.
Okay.
You know, I had it's this like nylon knockoff jersey, and I had like the actual like letters actually stitched in there, and they like put in there like the real stuff. Like, you know, back then it cost me a lot, but I love Pavel Bure. So I mean, going into the '80s and '90s, I was pretty big into hockey. For sure.
Okay, sorry, my bad. I thought, because when I last spoke with you in person, I think you were saying you don't watch it now.
No, I mean, once I got out of high school, you know, I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't really follow sports all that much.
Got it.
I did for a while, like Bears, everything. It's a tough road to be a Chicago fan, you know, after like '86, you know, like, or if you want to be Hawks early '90s. I know you have like the 2000s and Kane and all those guys in their run, but I don't know, man. I had other interests, and when I got back into gaming and especially collecting, you know, retro game collecting, and like really studying that, just like you only have so much time for stuff. I like work.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like I can watch sport, like even 5 years ago, it's like I can watch sports or whenever I came back on, like for hockey. It's like you can't fit in everything. And I like video gaming too. So it's like,
yeah,
I'm either going to do that or I'm going to do, you know, watch sports or that. So I chose this because I get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, there's 24 hours in the day. And you know what? I'm the same as you. I used to be a big fan of many sports, but I haven't watched anything for almost 20 years. And that's just because of lack of time. And now I just don't have the interest anymore. And you guys in Chicago were spoiled when you had the '86 Bears, maybe the greatest team ever. And then you have the Bulls after that. Dude, you guys had it.
You're absolutely right. But you know what I love going back to watch? Our old, I'm on this like huge kick of watching interviews about the old basketball players. So a lot about the Jordan stories, things like that, just eating that stuff up. And I love it. And I was thinking the same time, like, man, I was so like, you took it for granted, you know, as a kid, you just didn't know, like, what does that mean? Like when you're 10, they have Jordan. It's like, you just like, the big slap in the face is in '98 when that team like comes back the next year. You're like, oh yeah, like here's your dose of reality right upside your head. Like, how bad it could be.
I have a buddy of mine, and he is an avid basketball fan to this day, and he's a huge advocate of me watching The Last Dance. He tells me, you got to watch it. I've never gotten around to watching it. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I watched it twice. I'll definitely make another run at it. You know, even if you're not a basketball fan, to try to understand the psyche of somebody who has that kind of winning spirit at all costs, it's a very unique kind of type of person. And it's a person you want to listen to what they say. Not that you strive to be that, but it's like, because they don't come across it, they don't come along all that often. So it's just, it's wild. It's wild to see somebody who's just like that, and still is, you know, with everything.
Well, you had Rodman and Phil Jackson. They had quite a array of characters, to say the least, right? It's just an interesting team. And Reinsdorf, I think, was the owner.
Sorry,
was Reinsdorf the owner at the time?
Yeah,
and so like it was just an interesting time to be a Bulls fan. So anyways, I digress.
Well, speaking of watching sports, I don't know if you caught what was behind me, Len.
I see what's behind you. What the heck is that? That's me?
Oh, that's just Len tying it up in the third period against AJ at your last King.
that is my crowning achievement in NHL '94. Never to be repeated.
This is so great because I love going back. So it's like when as AJ is pointing out in one of these videos, you go back and you watch for certain things. Sometimes you watch for defense. Sometimes you watch like how does somebody set up for something, how they set up their offense. And on this one, I'm gonna go back. I just want to watch the video of the two players playing. Len's always an all shucks guy, but when you got that goal, it was a finger point, it was a spam, and then it was
dude,
you gave him a look. It was like, oh,
dude, the game before though, I'm not sure if you remember, it was I got mercied in like the first period or something. It was just a one-sided affair. That was the way it should have been. It was. I did one goal that was good in that game. I remember Modano took me aside at the end. He said that was a great goal, but that was the only goal I scored.
Yeah, the first game I felt bad because like I would have given you a heads up because you called Jersey Hartford, and that used to be the matchup to call AJ, but that was like 3 years ago. Then he took Jersey and won the Classic with them, and I was just like, oh, when he called that,
you're
like
the second person that said that to me afterwards.
Yeah, I was just like, ooh, man, that's gonna be a rough one for a while. I'm like, maybe he didn't know. I'm like,
no, I not only I didn't, but let's be honest. If you had a chance to call a match, like there's nothing you're gonna call that is gonna be advantageous. You might as well throw darts on a board because that's really the only way of doing. Like, you're not gonna think your way out of this. Just have Lady Luck do it. Throw that dart. Let it be a team.
It's like, so you have to. The way I was thinking about it is like, I've been to every king. I've been to all these. I played AJ forever. Like he's like one of my dear friends. So we like bounce a lot, but everything comes in peaks and waves. There's meta teams. There's things that run for a while, and like where he used to be the ultimate LA guy. I'm not saying go do this, but like you have to revisit some of those old matchups after a while. Like he'll still be lights out on him, but it's like sometimes you have a better chance when you revisit the old stuff. Like the New Jersey's been fresh in his head because he took some bad beats in live play. When I say bad beats, he almost lost to me. It's like with one. It's like, but TJ beat him with that matchup at a live tournament. And then, so this was like probably like 2 edges ago. I had him in OT. I came back from 5-2 or 5-1, and I tied it up. And I think we went to OT, or maybe it was like late there. I can't remember. And his goalie Burke left the net on him. Burke left the net on him, and it was wide open. And I managed to get the one-timer back. If Richer one-timers it, now Burke is 3 feet to the side of that and hits Burke in the back of his helmet. I'm like,
typical Richer.
What is going on? And then of course he comes back and wins it, but that's his that was close. And then there's been some, that was a tough matchup for him for a while. And then TJ was announcing that game. And then in Saskatoon, a couple months later that year, beat him with that matchup. So
he's really good in live play.
Oh, TJ is one of my favorite live. He's one of my favorite people around, but like his live play, like there's guys who are built for live, man. You cannot sleep on him. And TJ is one of those guys. Like NIU is another guy who's just, yourself, definitely. We talked about that. But NIU shot on SNES and Jen's side for the King last year. I was just blown away. That comeback that he had against Raph, like 5 goals, like when he's down 6-1 to win that, I was just like, he went 5-1 or 6-0 in the bracket in group play. It's insane. Yeah, he's
a hell of a commentator too.
And he beat AJ at Row Rum 2 this year, like in group play, So, we're actually, we've talked about that. There's such a select few of beaten AJ live that we're actually getting a trophy made, like a Stanley Cup for people who have just beat AJ live,
That's a good idea.
And Ice is the only one who's ever knocked him out of a live tournament in recent years. So he got him at Edge a couple of years ago. So, yeah. I guess I can go as long as you want to go on the history of AJ performance, But, yeah.
Well, you've been there from the very beginning. Before King started up, like around 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
What tournaments, if any, were being done in person?
It's funny. Anything that would have happened, basically zero. But the guy who always kept it going, man, I cannot give enough credit to Halifax. Like, it's just... he is the gel that's held so much together. You know, you have like Mikey McBride, we get that boost, you know, to like that push to get to live. But then it's Halifax who just kept it all together and kept running with it in that direction and helped building it. And then and it's just like this, it's like this new life. And then over time we have, you know, it attracts like new people. And then we have someone like you who comes in and has daily posts, like just total engagement on social media and creating that, just creating engagement across the board. I just can't, what you're doing is just, you know, God's work, man. Like I can't.
I think I'm going to attract, and I have been attracting a lot of new people to come in. And I think
I'm not surprised.
There's going to be a wave
every day.
Yeah. I get comments frequently on different platforms and like, how do I do this? And then I send them the information. So then they show up and it's like, oh, I want to play. It was okay. Yeah, feel free to do so. Like I think there has been an influx recently, but I have a feeling as we get into the colder months, as hockey becomes more prominent again as the season starts, there's going to be a huge wave of people coming in, for better, for worse. And I want to do a new players league. I think it's time to do that again. We haven't done that in such a while, but I think we got to do that.
You
again.
know, God bless Dan TML for doing that too. Like yes. I wish he was back around a little bit more. You know, everyone's got like time off and come back on. They come back on after a while. I do miss Dan TML, and it was really awesome that he would do that. That new players league was just such a great idea, just to get people's feet wet. To go back to your question though, about, you know, I have a tendency to do that. My mind will work and I'll spin off in different directions a little bit, but I wanted to go back to revisit your original questions. What was happening?
By the way, we only have about 5 hours worth of footage here, so just keep that in mind. Let's keep this within 5.
Okay, hey man, I will go.
I'm in it for the long haul, buddy. Yeah, I'm in this for the long haul.
That's great, man, because I'll talk forever. So it's all good.
And I'll be listening forever. Don't worry.
So before King, so the reason I mentioned Halifax is that he's the guy, like, we had never even met, you know, and he'd send me like a birthday message, you know, like every year. Like he'd reach out occasionally, just like, hey, hope everything's well. Everything's well, bud. Like, and then I remember in 2012 or 2013, he reached out to me. He's like, hey man, just to let you know, there's this Chicago tournament going on. Happened to be in my old stomping grounds, like where I used to live in the city, and the bar I used to go to. So quick story. I showed up to this place, and it's like the head bartender and all his friends, like, and there's probably like 15, 20 people, you know, it was like kind of, but they played no offsides, but line changes on.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm not used to that, but you know, these guys had never seen someone from our neck of the woods. It's like they had no idea what was like going to happen. And like, it was funny because the head bartender guy was like the guy to beat. And like, he was like the head boss, you know, the boss, the final boss of like all the friends, all those little toadies. So, you know, I worked my way through the bracket, like, so, and the prizes were like Blackhawks tickets or his signed Chelios puck, you know.
Ooh.
I'm like, it was in this little sheets right over there. It's like,
you're giving away the story, buddy. You don't have to tell us it because you obviously won it. Because you have. Just kidding. Of course you won.
I think the funny thing is that when we get to the finals, and you know, they didn't have like the matchup calls, so like every matchup's like Chicago Detroit, Chicago Montreal, like it's all like, it's boring. Like one guy called like Quebec and he got like smoked by somebody, like threw his glass across his bar and broke it. It's just like some people like get really fired up, but like these guys had just no clue, man. Like, you know, if you're coming from the forums and people are discussing how to play this game, you're just so light years ahead of the guy who is good with who's the best guy with his friend group, you know. It's like, all right, so I won, and the guy gave me a choice. I'm like, yeah, like I don't care about the ball. Like I'll take the puck. He's like, and like everyone booed, by the way.
You took the tickets
because I wasn't like the friend. I wasn't the friend. Like these guys were all like his toadies. So I was like, like all like he was like grown, you know. So he's like, I don't want the tickets. I want the puck. He's like, seriously? He's like, but they're Blackhawks tickets. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I want the puck. He was so bummed. I picked the puck that made it that much sweeter to take from him. I'm like, you do that. I'm out of here.
The one thing I always, when I see you, like now on the computer, but when I always see you in person, the image I always think of you is you wearing the Blackhawks jersey. I'm surprised you're not wearing it right now. It's weird.
I actually thought about that. It's like, well, it depends on what tournament you see me at. Because like I wear my Fontaine jersey sometimes. I got the other jerseys, so it depends. I wore I still have my Pavel Bure jersey from high school, so I wear that to an edge. So it depends. But for King, I always will wear the Roenick jersey. Yeah.
And you have this awesome, I don't want to say superstition, but that's not a superstition. Wrong word. This awesome thing you do is every year you bust out the cover of NHL 94 and have people sign it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a thing I do for every eternity. I love it. I date it. Put the I always get one. I always get some for the organizers as well. So it's like a big tradition for me. I always want to make. In fact, I didn't do it for the first King of '94, except for Hallie. So he is the only one that's got the King of '94 one. Like, so I have it for every other tournament I've been to. I mean, Rorums, Edges, all the Kings, of course, and anything else that we put together for satellite tournaments.
That's a cool thing you do. And you know what? I find now that I know that you do it, I try to be one of the first people to sign it, because that way I can find a good spot to do it rather than be one of the later people. And you're like, where the heck do I do it? So like I've learned my lesson.
No, I always try direct because they're all facing out. There's probably it's probably what 20, 25 copies now sitting up there. So it's like I will go and look at them. And I like to see the fronts of the box. That's why I was telling you, don't sign the back, because I won't turn around. Like I like to see it on the front, because I always see there's those times like I haven't seen like Corbett wasn't at some live tourneys for a while. He is like diehard, so I'll go and see like a Corbett. Like this King was the first King or live tournament he's been to in a little while, and he was a diehard, always showing up. So but I see the Corbett, I'm like, oh yeah, Corbett. Like it instantly flashes me to those head. Or you see an old school name like Coach, or like even when I did the one in 2019 in New York, that Raph Chaos, like Mike Gartner ran. I see like a schoolyard puck or that's like when I called him Baby Schmidt back then, but when Schmidt was just on the scene, he didn't even know what a poke check was at that time. And I'm not even kidding. Like, but he was at that tournament, so I met him even before I knew what a Schmidt was. So, but man, it's just like it's cool. It's cool to like see those names. It like takes you back immediately.
Did you see that Evan showed up at the Long Island tournament?
I have my first copy of anything I had signed was just from him. And I just had him sign it, and he's the only one that signed it. It says Evan the Godfather GG on it. And it's like out of all my gaming stuff, and I mean I have a whole room all over on both sides, up to the ceiling. And that is my favorite piece, is that. Yeah.
What else do you have over there? Is it different consoles? Is it a different?
Yeah, I got a full Dreamcast North American collection there.
Are you a Shenmue fan?
Yeah, Shenmue's it's got a certain flavor to it. You got to have a certain type of patience. I love what they did to build realism into it. But at a certain point, it's like there's got to be a fun factor to it. How much did Sega spend on that budget for that game? It had to be, I think it was the most they've ever spent on a game, and it really is part of the reason that Sega had a big downfall. Because Dreamcast only lasted for 99 to 2001, and then they hit a crater. Arcades dropped out. I mean, I think they sell like $90 million. Something. So it was something crazy for that time.
Well, didn't PlayStation come up and say that the magic number was at 199 or 299 or something, and that torpedoed the Dreamcast? Or am I wrong? There was an E3.
Oh no, no, I think that was PS2, wasn't it? Yeah,
That was
I
PS.
thought so.
It was like it was one of the, but it was at E3. They basically came out, said the price, and walked off. They said just the number, 3 numbers, either $199 or $299. Walked off the stage, and that was their presentation. But everyone was happy with it because the price was better. So
It had
they
to be
crushed
PS2.
Sega.
Yeah, it had to be PS2 because PS2 came in what 2001 or 2002,
Something like that.
I mean, Sega was already like some tough shape with it. I love the Dreamcast, but I mean, you know, PlayStation 2 is awesome. I mean, like they were hurting, you know, they just spent money the wrong ways. But I got you know, to go on, it's like let's see, I have all Nintendo, like original NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo, original Xbox 360, Wii, Wii U, PlayStation 1, Atari 2600, and then I have all my new generation stuff in the other room. So I have like, see, I have a Neo Geo's down there. You know, it's like,
oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's all in here. So if you look out here, I have it all hooked up. So I went through, dude, I'm a crazy. So SCART, the European cable connection, is a cleaner signal than composite cable. So I went and had custom cables made for all my retro consoles and converted to SCART. Then went SCART into a SCART hub, like this like special SCART hub. Then went SCART into a Framemeister, which upscales to HDMI, and then HDMI into the TV. So it's like, I mean, it's so stupid. I can't even tell you. Like it's embarrassing, like the time and like money I put into that. But I watched My Life in Gaming, and they were like, "How do you upscale old school consoles?" Yeah. I went all in, man. Like there's this woman who hand makes custom cables, and she is amazing. I can't recall the name because I haven't used her for a while, but she hand makes it all, and yeah, they're the best ones like out there. So. And she only does them in small batches. So it's like I'd have to wait for like, you know, months for another Saturn one to come up, a Saturn braided SCART cable, you know. So yeah, but it worked out.
Favorite 2600 game? Because a lot of people would say maybe Yar's Revenge, Warlords, maybe. Like I love
favorite 2600 Warlords or Keystone Capers, I really like. Kaboom, like I love the idea of Kaboom, but it wears off pretty quickly. I mean, even back then it wore off, and now it's like it's tough to keep your attention for 30 seconds. I just got an Atari compilation on a new gen console just to like check it out. It's like has daily things you should beat and blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, I have to like go this way. Oh man, my attention span is cooked. You got nothing left.
You got any records that you submitted there? That because a lot of those games they're getting a great deal of attention because not only because of legit scores but also illegitimate scores from Todd Rogers and whatnot. So I'm wondering if you had anything that you have submitted. Well, it's hard to hear you now, bud.
Oh, sorry. How many do?
No, it just conked out for a sec. Strange.
Yeah. So I actually met Billy Mitchell at the NGC Milwaukee Gaming Convention one year, like probably 6 years ago. I bumped into him. This is right after his Donkey Kong thing, really hit, like with all that scandal. And you know, Todd Rogers was already like kind of looped in, hit that whole crew. And I was like, "Come on, man, Billy, don't tell me the truth. I don't have any proof." You know, Billy has like American tie on the whole shebang.
Yeah.
He's totally in business mode, but yeah, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt because like King Kong is one of my favorite documentaries like ever made. Like I just love that. I love Exit Through the Gift Shop is my other one, I would say, and then I can't think of my third one, but
Chasing Ghosts.
Chasing Ghosts is okay. I just there's something about the King of Kong where it almost felt like a drama. You know, like Hollywood could not write characters that good.
They made Billy Mitchell look like a old wrestling heel, and you just wanted to punch him in the face. That was the sentiment you get by watching.
That, basically, I mean, unfortunately, it was pretty shady.
Going full circle here, I spoke to Mikey. God, it might be 2 years ago now.
Yeah,
and he was saying King of '94. The name of that was a derivative of the King of Kong.
Yeah.
He is a huge Billy Mitchell fan. And so if you it's funny because so then the tournament we all attend, the King of 94, the name is kind of based off Billy Mitchell's documentary, or the documentary between him and Steve Wiebe, the King of Kong. So like I find it to be hilarious. And yeah, it's just to close to tie a bow on that side of the things. But
yeah,
anyway.
no, I'm not surprised at all. I wonder if Mikey Brick Bryan is still a Billy Mitchell fan. Now, don't get it wrong. Like, Billy Mitchell is an amazing retro player. Like, he is one of the best. It's unfortunate it went the way it did, but I wonder where Mikey McBrien stands on today.
I'll have to talk to him again. It's been a while since he's been. Yeah. Now go back to 94. Let's just divert back.
Let's do it.
There's something that you are known for, and it's tossing a puck, lobbing it soft towards the net, having that goalie try to get it like he's Dominic Hasek, flopping around, diving, doing that, and then just potting it into the open net. This EA special.
Yeah.
How did you make it so prominent? How is this tied to you?
Yeah. It came down. I mean, I was online playing from 2005 to, I think I left around 2008. And that's another story we can go into later on. But yeah, during that time, we had the weight bug and, just smashing people all the place. And people are picking up on defensive trends. And one of the things that we still all do is we all clog the middle, right? Like, we'll start to clog the middle. But, back then, just like people are sitting there and just parking, just like not even moving. Because I was just trying to develop a counter to that. Uh-huh. So coming down on the wings, and I just knew this after like playing so long. It's just, you start to flick that puck at the goalie. How anyone discovers anything. It just, they do it a couple of times. They do it once. It's like, oh, is that an accident? And then you do it again. You're like, I might be onto something here. And a big part of my job is pattern recognition. So it's, I saw that. And then now when you're really leaning into it and you're figuring out, because like Robert Reichel was the guy I discovered that with. He was the guy I developed that move with. And no one can be more perfect. It's like a 4-4 shot. He's like pretty nice and even Steven kind of guy, but it works well with him because different goalies take different shots different ways. So there's a whole spectrum of EA specials depending on how hard their shot is, how accurate they are versus what the goalie attributes are. So it's like something to consider. So you get pretty layered, but like Robert Reichel, just vanilla. Okay. So what would happen is now that you're doing that, well, now their defense has to look at you. So it's like if they turn their back on you, it's like, well, just fire it in at them and then go and then pick up the scraps, And then if they have face, now it opens up the lane for the one-timer. So it's like you're keeping it was all counter defense, just to keep their defense honest, And then it took off. Like it gained traction because it is a viable move. Now you're adding that layer of chess, that chess game we all get into. It gets all real heady out there, and how we move around the ice and what we think people are going to do. Now to the point where now I'm doing EA. I'll set up. I'll open that. You open the blade up for the EA, and I'll just wait. Like I'll just fade, and you catch guys like who switch to that goalie and bring them out a little bit, and it's just you just tuck it in the near side. So it's like you know how the headiness can get, but that's a whole other level. But that's how it developed, and I gotta say I'm like super honored by that. They stuck it with me. After a while.
So you didn't coin that term; somebody else did.
No. Here's the thing: is like. I used to get, oh my God, Len, they used to flame me on the forums so hard. Hockey? Oh my God, hockey fan would go bananas on me.
For using that move, right?
Oh my God, he's the biggest piece of shit. Well, Fleury, because it was IAmFleury'sHipCheck. EA was, my middle name's Anthony, so my handle was Eric Anthony 76 on AOL. So they shortened that to EA. It's because they don't want to say IAmFleury'sHipCheck. It's too damn long. So yeah, they just call me EA, and we did that a lot with each other. We started calling each other by AOL handles.
So yeah, I was just gonna go there, like as you're doing it and bringing it as a viable weapon in your arsenal of attacks. Yeah, people are looking at this, and not everybody's embracing this. Like, people are.
I was even listening back to your interview, like a handful of your interviews over the last couple of years, in the last couple of weeks, and even when the AJ one, I think you asked like, what are the moves you used to hate? It's like, I used to hate EA specials, and man, did AJ hate those more than anyone. And I used to talk so much trash to him after, because he was like, AJ was in college back then, so like AJ wasn't the AJ of today. Like, he had potential. He was good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he was going to hang in there with anyone. But, he was young. Like, he had this game, like, growing up. Like, yeah, I'd be like, hey, buddy, good game. Like, how you doing? He's like, oh, man, the move. You're like such trash. Like, whatever, that stupid move. I'm like, hey, buddy, when you get back from soccer practice, like totally egging him on. Like, but, it's all in good fun. It was a little more toxic back then because, like, no one had ever met in person, so right. It's like, yeah, that was a little harder. I mean, it was all in good fun. I've always respected AJ and a lot of those guys, like hockey fan, like any of those guys, like their abilities, but AJ is he's the force to be reckoned with now, right? I mean, Raph, like, there's a handful of guys that's just like just a complete force, yeah, they just have taken it to a whole new level. But yeah, back then I would just get flamed because, like, that rebound shit, or the whatever they were calling it back then, and like no one did it, and it wasn't until, so I left in 2008. It wasn't until the second I got third place at King of 94 2 in Vegas.
That was your best finish, or would you do it?
Yeah, it had to be my best finish. Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember even, like, Raph is the guy who knocked me out. Like, he's knocked me out of so many. Like, the guy's a total monster. And I remember he's like, how do you do that? Like, when we were playing, it's like, how do you do that? Like, what is it? So I'm telling you, even up to 2017, it wasn't like a huge thing, like AJ is the one who started, like, pick that up a lot. And then from what I heard, like Chris O, I think Chris O did it so much, I think that Schmidt thought Chris O developed that for a while. He thought it was his, but like, it was from me playing with these guys at the first couple live tournaments, because Chris O has been a long time, like, King attender. Like, I can't remember. I think he was going to live Kings before he was online. That guy, he's really good, but
yeah, apparently has like the most wins, but also the most losses online, or something along those lines, because he's got such a long tenure that he just has all these. It's like Cy Young. Cy Young has a lot of wins, but he also has a lot of losses because he played for a very long time and they never pulled him out of the game in those days. So like Chris O has, and you're right, Chris O, when I play him, that's the one thing I look for primarily is the EAs. He's known for doing them, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try defending them.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole series just on breakdowns of guys. Like, I could do that with you all day long. Like,
yeah, you know what? We may have to. I've already in discussions with somebody, don't want to say who, that we're doing something like that. There's a lot going on behind the scenes.
I love it.
My biggest issue is a lack of time. That's my Achilles heel. I have, because I work during the day and it's taking up a lot of my time, and I have family. But this is just regular stuff everybody has to do.
Hey, those Costco runs aren't going to drive themselves,
Exactly. That's what, those are family outings for us at this particular moment of our lives. And
everyone hops in the family truckster.
We just hop in and go. It's a wonderful time. And I have a list of, I'll say 20 to 30 things that I've jotted down of videos I want to do. I've even written some scripts that I'm ready to do. I just don't have the time to do it. Some really good ones. I think they'll be funny. Some of them informative, but just, you know what, it's probably going to be coming out later in this winter. I'll do a few and then go from there. So I got enough that's going to last me a few years. And then I have some stuff. People are talking to me on the side. Let's do this. Okay, let's do that. But man, just not enough time.
You make a lot. You make it. You carve it out, man. Like your frequency at what you publish out there on a daily basis, just I know
schedule
how
everything.
those algorithms run, and I'm like, oh my god, like Len is just like killing it. Like he's just drawing so much attention this way.
You would be surprised, and like without getting too much into weeds, but well over 2 million eyeballs have hit my stuff in the past 28 days, and my socials, and then so
it's awesome.
The amount of engagement is off the charts, and it's only going to go higher as we get closer to hockey starting, and people are busy with summer. I get that, but that's a different thing altogether, dude. We should do something on the side. Would love to do something
that's what I'm saying.
Analysis.
If you ever need a wingman for any of that, like let me know, man. I'm happy. Like I'll carve out time. I know you have a busy schedule. I know you're always doing stuff, so I'll do my best to carve out anything I can do to be there.
I appreciate that.
Doing anyway. Like I can't thank you enough for all.
No, I really appreciate the feedback's been awesome. That's all I could say.
You deserve it.
It's been awesome.